Yo, what is up YouTube? We're back with another Shinobi Striker video, and today we're going to be looking at the patch notes for all the ninjutsu. A lot of ninjutsu got buffed. Some of them have pretty interesting little tweaks. Let's get straight into it. Our first class doing ATK, Leaf Whirlwind has gotten a buff. The technique now has more forward movement. Alright, so you're going to be able to reach farther when you activate it. Our second ninjutsu on ATK that's gotten a buff is Rasengan. They increased the lunge tracking ability, adjusted the motion that enemies take when hit, and decreased the cooldown time. We got Massive Rasengan, increased the axis correction time. Next one is Kamui. It is now possible to use Kamui in midair. There's a couple of ults in this patch notes are gonna have that. You can now use Kamui in midair. I tried it and it's actually pretty fun. There are a couple ults that kind of suck when you have to use it on the ground. You can't use it because you're in the air, and Kamui is now one of those that is fixed. And they decrease the activation time on Kamui, so it's faster. Moving on to the next class, we have range types. For Chidori, ooh, this one's really interesting. They added super armor to this technique's lunge. So when you're popping Chidori, or when you used to pop Chidori, if someone like threw like a kunai, it might have like interrupted it, right? Now you have that super armor, so once you get going, they can't stop it. They either have to block it or dodge it. Fire Style Fireball Jutsu, they increased the projectile speed and increased the tracking capability. Can't really hate it. Pretty simple jutsu. I like it. Super Beast Scroll Lion increased damage. And then Water Style Water Dragon Jutsu both have increased damage. Don't hate it. Love using both of those jutsu. Our first ult on range that has been buffed is Kirin. Increased the attack range. The next buff ult on range is Host Transformation Six Tails. Increase the giant bubbles damage. Moving on to defense. Defense, y'all only got a couple of buffs. I'm a defense main. Kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. Our first buff is going to be 8 trigrams palm rotation. They decreased the cooldown time for this. I definitely will be running that a lot more. And then we have 2 secret technique buffs. We have Earth Style, Earth Pillar Explosion. You can use that in mid-air now. I think the animation's really sick. It should be on the screen right now. I think the animation for it is really cool. And then Water Prison Rosary Bondage Jutsu, you can now use that in midair, which is kind of crazy to me because I didn't know that you couldn't use that in midair. You heal types are about to be happy. Well, maybe not. A lot of it is still leaning towards combat healers, but it is a couple of buffs, and one of them is pretty interesting. Paralysis Jutsu, increased ninjutsu speed and decreased time until the attack. Heavy Boulder Jutsu has also gotten a buff, increased the damage. Cherry Blossom Clash, increased damage when the ninjutsu hits in the center, and they did the same exact thing for Crimson Drizzle. Next jutsu, 8 trigrams Air Palm. This one got a couple of buffs. Increased damage, increased projectile speed, and increased tracking ability. Byakugan, they adjusted so only the user does not take guard damage when this ninjutsu is active. And they also adjusted it so only the user can guard against guard breaking attacks, which means healers, right? When you're using those Ys and someone has Byakugan and they're guarding, you can't break it. And that goes for any other class, right? When you're punching the guard, no matter how much you punch it, no matter how many ninja tools you're throwing at it, right? It's not going to break it. All right. Now there are probably a couple things in the game that can bypass it. I'm pretty sure like things like Baryon Barrage can bypass it, but for most things, that guard's not going to be broken. The next jutsu we have is Nervous System Rupture. It has also gotten a buff. They reduced the time to cancel into another action when the secret technique is activated. I think they mean ninjutsu. I'm looking on the official site of Bandai right now, because it's not secret technique. And they also adjusted the motion that enemies take when hit. After that, we have Lava Style Lava Monster Jutsu. They increase continuous damage when hitting the lava monster before the impact. After that, we have Tsukiyomi. It got buffed pretty good. Decreased the time until the debuff, increased the length of the debuff time, and increased damage. And last but not least, this is the last ninjutsu buff of the whole patch notes. We have Strength of 100 Flower Cannon, increased the heal over time effect. That is all the ninjutsu buffs. Every ninjutsu in here got buffed. Not a single jutsu got nerfed. Really interested to see what builds come out with the whole Sasuke DLC and what people put together, because a couple of range things did get tweaked, so I'm really interested in that. But you guys let me know what you think about these patch notes. I'll see you in the next video.